Uh, let's start with kind of how we got here. Kind of at this point where it's October 7th and we have no CBA and no one knows. Well, it sounds like it might be getting done, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, so it's been a long process, you know. I From what I can gather is there hasn't been really much communication from when Bandits hosted the cup. There hasn't been much communication. There's been a bit of a break in between of guys actually communicating between the NLPA side to the PRC, which what the PRC is public relations, communications to the players. They kind of communicate to the players. They're the ones, they're like board of governors, ties to the team that communicate with the NLPA, who then, like again, go and talk to the board of governors and see how much more they can offer. It's gotten to a sticky point where, like, I'm telling you, the season was about to be canceled. Like, it was that close. It was to a point where, like, nothing was going to get done. There was too much hot water. Before of leaking out the information, it was ugly. It was ugly. Like, it was to the point where guys were wondering if we were going to have jobs. From what I can tell from some of the players that have told me before, if you don't have a second job and you need a second job, like your NL contract and how much you get paid for them, I suggest getting a second job. That was kind of what the NLPA was setting to players. Like, that is massive. So with that being said, like, it got to a point where, like, hey, like, we need to get a deal done. There was players within the league who were pissed off with the NLPA, said that, hey, we need to get something done. That's what the rumors are saying. I can say there is some definitely. All 90% might be a reach. But being said that, we are coming to a really, as I tweeted kind of today, that we're coming to a really positive moment. In the last 4 days, there's been a significant amount of progress. From what I can gather from people telling me, there's about 30 things going on the list. Keep in mind, in the 30 list of things, there's about 6 of them already completed, and 6 of them, I would say, a majority of have the weight of the rest of them.
Okay. So based on, kind of what you were tweeting earlier and kind of what you're saying now, you're expecting a deal to be done imminently, certainly probably by the weekend, something like that. And does that mean probably nothing's really canceled, not even week one or anything?
Nothing is canceled at the moment. So as when we've seen in the letter that got leaked out, that I leaked out, it had dates on them. In those dates, they weren't really truthful. It's kind of pushing a deadline of saying, hey, we need to get this done. We need to get this done. What's now being said, like, hey, like, if we're next Friday, we will see stuff getting canceled. You know, Arena dates need to be filled. Those need to be saying, yeah, we're using them. Um, Visas, training camps, minimum of 2 to 3 weeks for training camps that have to be done. So we are getting to that point where, yes, it needs to be done immediately, but there is still given time.
I know there was like some talk about teams being willing to cancel training camp. Are we at a point where that's going to start happening, or they're going to condense it, or are teams just going to flat out just say, hey, we don't need a training camp, let's just play games?
No, they will have a training camp. I don't think any teams are willing to cancel training camp. There's too many guys who are not signed, too many guys who, weren't in the draft. For instance, I'll bring up a guy, real close friend of mine. I'll plug him, Ethan Forgrave. Absolutely lit it up in Senior B this year. Lit it up. Lit it up in the Montana Lacrosse League this past weekend. This guy needs to be on a trial, needs to get to a camp, needs to prove that he can play with the best. He came off a significant amount of an injury with touring his ACL. He got back from that. He needs to get a look. There's other guys like that teams are interested in. And, we can't have an NL season. It would put an asterisk on an NL season if we can't have a training camp.